Hi, this is Kerry Artek with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Monday, July 1st, 2024. But before we check out the charts, I just want to ask you to please click like, share, subscribe, and check out wickedstocks.com, where we offer a full suite of both daily and weekly analytical videos, just like the daily Tesla and daily NVIDIA reports, daily analysis in the SPY, daily analysis in the Triple Q, weekly analysis in the S&P 500 index, the NASDAQ 100 index, and Apple stock, as well as 2 individual stock picks a week that you never see on YouTube that cater to the 3 to 5 week swing trader out to the 3 to 5 month near-term investor, always looking for 20% moves or more on those underlying stocks. And you get to see all of this for free. We offer a 5-day free trial up front. So check out wickedstocks.com. Let's take a look at the charts. I'll start with the weekly bar chart because there's a lot to glean from this. And we've got the same structures on the daily chart that I'll be showing in a moment. But it's just that 3 weeks ago, we clearly settled above a 6-month channel top. That this week is at 128.30, then indicating likely bullish continuation to the full channel extension at 162.02. I use these full channel extensions, especially when you're kind of in uncharted territory, when you're at new highs and you just don't have a lot of line studies to use other than the full extension. And there are other things that can come into play. You can do full swing counts and such. But in terms of channel structures, speed lines, they don't exist oftentimes when you're just pushing into the sort of parabolic state. But we, 2 weeks ago, put out a new all-time high. We fell back, closed negative on the week. That is a bit of a reversal also. Now, the key reversal is if we continue south and settle below the previous week's low, which we didn't do. But in any event, a new move high followed by a negative settlement at the end of a week is oftentimes a sign of an overbought market, one that is inclined to correct. We really didn't get that signal in terms of line studies until we opened last week below the 128.30 formation. It did hold roughly. There was certainly some intra-week play above it, but we closed below this channel structure last week. We also closed below the low of the high, which is itself a sign of weakness. So we closed the week at 123.54. The low of the high from the previous week was 124.30. So I'm just pointing these things out. So we remain heavy below 128.30. The same formation on the daily chart is 127.42, which is what we're using during the week. You can see how we pushed above it. If we did close above it, and I don't watch these closely, I can just see immediately how close we are. We settled pretty much at this structure. If we did close above it, it was by a minuscule degree, certainly not enough to consider a reversing and going long. So for all intents and purposes, this structure, after having closed below it, that was at Monday. No, that was a week ago last Friday. Monday, Tuesday. No, it was last Monday. Sorry. That's right. I just walked us through the fact that the previous week held the channel bottom to the downside, despite the fact that it closed negative on the week. And it was last Monday that we gapped lower and continued south. That was the low of the week, was last Monday. And then we proceeded to continue testing this channel structure, but not really pushing through it and settling above it, which would be a sign of a likely gains as we move into later July. I'll get to that in a moment. But bottom line, if you're short right now, it is really stay short below 127.42. I'm talking to not only 3 to 5 day swing traders, but also 3 to 5 week position traders, because, below 127.42, and there's a horizontal line representing it, we are expecting the 105.52 rising channel bottom, a 4, 5, 6 month channel bottom that can absorb selling on a monthly, possibly quarterly basis. And this does remain a 3 to 5 week target. We could see that sooner. So I also have some downside levels that I'm showing here, and we'll just stay with this chart here for a moment. For the day, I've got 122.60. That is the low of the high from last week. We used this as a soft intraday pivot point late last week, I think Thursday, Friday. It's been holding above 122.60. We'll keep 127.42, that longer term resistance, in reach today. But if we break or open today below 127.42, I'm going with 118.61 as the level that can contain a daily selling pressures. You can see here visually there is this rough head and shoulders process that's playing out right now. You've got consolidation from 3-4 weeks ago. You've got the rally to the high that took another week, and then you have a week of sideways trade here that it was all of last week. So there is a pretty well-defined, slightly rising head and shoulders formation that is also another sign of an overbought market, one inclined to correct. Now, the correction, I'm not expecting a significant correction. This is pretty modest if you're anticipating 105.52. 108.61, an intraday target below 122.60, can contain daily selling pressures. And if we close below 118.61, we should, by the end of next week, within a week or two, actually reach our 3 to 5 week target at 105.52. Now, we still have 115.87, and I have that as an intraday level. That is a downside 3/8 Fibonacci off that April low against the more recent June high. It may well contain daily selling pressures. If we break 118.61 over the next few days, that particular day, we could test 115.87, probably would, which may well contain selling pressures for the remainder of the day. But if we close below the neckline, and this is once again a neckline of a head and shoulders development, then I do see that as your next kind of go with sell signal on a 1 to 2 week, 3 to 5 day basis, expecting our overall objective at 105.52. Our overall 3 to 5 week objective below 127.42. 105.52 able to contain selling into August trade. And from here we can round back up again for another push to the upside in the weeks and even several months to follow. I don't see any sign of longer term weakness unless we were to close below 105.52. And I'm just not going to go there right now in this video. It's such an irrelevant point. Let's talk upside. This 127.42 formation. Let me go to this chart here. If we happen to push through it on Monday, 129.52 is likely. That is the low of the high that may contain buying pressures for the remainder of the day. But if we push through 129.52 today, then expect 132.08. And that is an upside 5/8 Fibonacci AB from the recent high against the very recent low. And it may well contain daily buying pressures. But if we close today clearly back above 127.42, and the higher we are above 127.42, the more valid it is. In other words, if we close at 127.50, I will say, and I'm looking at this chart right now, you can see that last Friday's high was 127.71. Let's just put it this way. If we close, and I don't even have it marked as a minor point, but if we close today above 127.71, that is above Friday's high, that's obviously also above the 127.42 formation, that is your signal for not only 132.08 the very following day, but over the next few weeks, 149.03 would be anticipated if we were to close clearly above 127.42. And I'll go with clearly being merely a settlement today above Friday's 127.71 high. Then I see no good reason to be short the NVIDIA as we move into July, no longer anticipating this 105.52 formation, but rather anticipating the 149.03 formation within probably 2 to 3 weeks. And once again, this will be converging as we move into later July anyway, with 160.38. So there's another way to put this, that if we get that buy signal today above 127.42, also above 127.71 for clarity's sake, then you can expect within 2 to 3 weeks, this rising channel top is rising at a good pace. And over the next 2 to 3 weeks, it will be converging with 160.38 anyway. So let's just say a settlement today above 127.42 does indicate the mid 160s and climbing. That could be by the end of July, probably more like by the end of August. But that is a scenario. Right now, the scenario remains heavy below 127.42, expecting over the next 3 to 5 weeks, 105.52, over the next 1 to 2 weeks, if we close any day this week, below 118.61. I think that maps it out pretty well. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of our 5-day free trial. We put out 2 solid stock picks every week for the 3 to 5 week to 3 to 5 month trader. Also, daily triple Q and SPY analysis. Once again, the triple Q is testing significant overhead long-term resistance, inclined to meaningful bearish rotation as we move through the rest of the third quarter. Talking triple Q, but NVIDIA is a big part of that index. Keep that in mind. I'm going to leave it at that for Monday's NVIDIA report. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with Tuesdays. You have a great day.